welcome. Today's or tonight's conversation is all about why you keep getting stuck in the friend zone. If you are experiencing this, especially for my younger guys out there, or somebody coming into, being a man, well, being of age like 18, 19, 20, 21. Sometimes guys experience this a lot more when they're in their 20s and late teens. So this might be something that is helping you as well. And for my men after 25 who are experiencing this, we got to get you into a good place. So hopefully all of the information here and the guidance will support you getting out of this friend zone, because I don't know, but I actually do know, because the guy I used to date did actually friend zone me. But we were dating at one point, and he decided to put me in the friend zone for several different reasons that we actually talked about later on. So, but needless to say, that's not why you're here. Um, I understand that it can be frustrating when there's a pattern of that continuing to happen, where a woman or girl is in your life and you really like her and you really want to not be platonic friends with her. You want it to mature and develop into something else. And maybe you keep stopping yourself because you're blocked in some way. But notice if this is a consistent pattern, because then you can identify that that's something within you. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with you. Know that it can be changed like that if you want it to be, if you continue to work on it and put in the reps. That's why I always say everything I'm telling you here that's actionable, right? To have your mindset flip, and then you bring it into your body. It is like going to the gym, literally. And I can speak from my experience of like training with a trainer and boxing since 2018. I actually boxed and sparred with somebody today, and it was like hard because I haven't done it in a long time and I'd barely eaten anything. But I'm putting that deposit in now, and although it wasn't comfortable, I'm putting those reps in now so that I'll be able to spar and work on my defense and be better. And it's the same thing with implementing anything here that I'm telling you to, attract women, to date women, to be in a relationship with them. Like I said, it all comes back to self. So first and foremost, no, that's not a compliment if a woman is telling you, "Oh, you're such a nice guy," and she's not choosing you. Or, "Oh, you're such a good guy, John. Like, I'm so glad you're my friend." And she's not choosing you, and you know deep down inside that you're attracted to her, you want to bang her and you like her, and you would like love to explore something else outside of friendship. Know that that's not a compliment. She's friend zoning you. So know that, right? So that you can be like, oh, yeah, this is happening. And like I said, if it's a pattern and it's constantly happening, then know that that's something inside of you that you can like change and flip the script. What's up? How are you? Thank you so much. I'm going to call you Chi. Chi Q. I guess like a spinoff of GQ magazine, Chi Q. Cute. Welcome. So, one of the first things I want to talk about in regards to this topic, and please drop your comments below, join the conversation, ask questions, talk with each other. I might, if a good enough amount of men come in here, I might ask you some things about how you feel about somebody else's comment or somebody's question. I may be answering and helping. So, like I said, this is a conversation, this is a community, and it's not just about you listening to me talk. So, what's up, Vladimir? I have some friend children. I don't know what that means. Curtis, what's up? Welcome. I have somebody called Huh. So when you hide that you're attracted to this person, to this woman, to this girl, and you hide it behind niceness and, people pleaser type, like I'm saying, and trying to be so nice and walk on eggshells to keep her in your life or whatever, you're basically playing it. So you're basically playing it safe. You're playing small, and she's not going to figure out that you like her or you're attracted to her. Women can't read your mind. Like maybe they like we are in touch with our intuition. So if she's in touch, she may have a hunch, but she might not come out and say something to you because obviously she wants you to lead and make the first move. And then deep down inside, she might not want to be wrong or assume. So know that women, if you like a woman, she's looking for you to own that and step into owning that and tell her and claim her and ask her out on a date or tell her you're interested and, you know, let her know. So you can't be out here being nice and being fake and being inauthentic about like how you feel about her and what you want, because that you'll never get anything you want in life, and that includes women. And she'll instantly foul you under the friend right category. I told you this, when women and girls are meeting you, they're looking for what place you may play in their life, or what file, what category you go under best. Husband material, boyfriend material, friend zone, you know, they're filtering through this, regardless if they know it or not. Curtis says, never hurts to ask. That's how I got my wife. Boom. Perfect example of a man that went for what he wants and now he's married to her. So if you know, you're attracted to her, I'm not saying this is going to be the love of your life or the one, but if you're attracted to her, then something gotta be said, dude. You can't be like playing it chill and being a nice guy and just be like, oh, I'm a chill guy, I don't really do that. Well, you're gonna be floating on and lonely. So, you know, something to think about. Hi, Jupiter love, welcome. Something to not even think about, to act on, so that you can start to flip that nice guy persona. You know, if you've been in my content before, I always say nice guys aren't where it's at. There's a difference and a big distinction between being a nice guy and being a kind, generous man. Because when you're giving out of just wanting to be kind, you're not expecting anything back. You're not trying to get validated. You're not trying to get your needs met. This is what nice is all about. Like, you want to get your needs met. It may be your abandonment wound may be coming up, like things like that. Or you may just be, you want to avoid tension or avoid rejection. So that's why you won't tell this person that you like them and you want to take them out and you want to explore something further. You will sit by in life and not create the life that you want or the dating life that you want if you continue to show up in the world like that as a man. And I'm giving you some real talk right now, right? Men are natural born hunters, natural born go-getters. So if it's not within you, know that it's something that it's, I feel like every man's born with that, just naturally, every boy. If it hasn't been brought out of you, right, from healthy masculine role models that's been around you, or you haven't been seeking it yourself, this is your, you didn't land on this live for no reason. This is your opportunity to start to harness that and start to bring that out. And that is you harnessing like your masculine energy, as opposed to the opposite, which is being a nice guy, being a passive guy, being a people pleaser, being a beta male, whatever you want to call it, it's all one and the same. So the reason why I also say this is because when you are a nice guy, you're passive, like, and you are in the friend zone and you don't want to be, know that you are passing up creating polarity. And if you don't know what that means, you can always look it up. We have AI now, but it's the dance between the masculine and the feminine role within relationship dynamic. You know, I'm explaining it as simple as I can, the best way that I can. And women, especially feminine women, they want, and it creates like a sensual tension, right? It's created with flirting and letting her know that you know, you like her and you want her, things like that, little witty banter back and forth. It can be really, really beautifully created through like words and flirting, but it can also be, it also getting created with making you taking a stand, you taking a lead, you making the effort, you claiming her, telling you want her, you being a gentleman. So that is going to create polarity. Feminine women want polarity because they want to feel and experience your masculine energy. That is one way to do that. So, you know that. And this is why I say, when you're a passive man and you end up attracting like a masculine woman for say, and I'm saying this in regards to like, no, she's not a lesbian. She's just a woman who likes men, who wants men, who dates men, but is heavily in her masculine energy, and it's difficult for her to switch out of that. So when she gets into a relationship with a man who doesn't want to take the lead, who's more passive, the polarity is reversed. And now it's having you be more in your feminine and her play the masculine role consistently because like, she plays it at work, she plays it at several roles in her life, and then she brings it home or when she sees you. And some relationships that works. I actually have heard a woman that said that works very well for her and her husband. One time I was on like a Zoom call for like one of my coaches that's coaching me, and she said that worked for her relationship, her and her, that complemented her and her man. So know that this is not the recipe for every relationship. Relationships aren't black and white. Dating isn't black and white. But no, just for the majority, women want to feel and see and experience like your masculine energy. So if you're always agreeable, if you're always passive, if you're never, leveling up, challenging yourself, maybe challenging her in different ways, she is not going to feel that masculine energy from you. And then she may end up moving on, especially if she knows what she wants, especially if she's dialed into her knowing that she wants that, and that's a big non-negotiable for her, and that's something she wants in a man to experience. She's going to move on to the next dude and keep you in the friend zone. So something to be aware of, right? You don't create polarity when you are like a nice guy and not speaking up to telling her you like her and what you want. Again, you don't create the polarity. So something to be aware of. And I said, like, if you want a feminine women who are in touch with their femininity and want and like to stay in that energy as much as possible, definitely want a masculine man, because at the core that energy is who she is. I'm not saying she's there 24 hours. No, she has to make decisions, get stuff done. She's in a role in like her job or even just in motherhood at points throughout the day. She has to step it up in her masculine energy too, make choices, decisions, be focused. But that's not usually where a woman wants to stay all the time. And if she has and constantly stays there, know that it can come from it can be ignited in her all the time for several different reasons. I was definitely like that. That's something I still constantly work on. But I was like that too because my dad wasn't around for a good part of my life. And then going into adulthood, I was like, okay, well, if this hasn't been modeled for me, then I gotta ignite and really put forward my masculine energy for myself so that I'm taken care of, you know? So just something to be aware of. Like I said, relationships aren't perfect and nothing's black and white. So use discernment even when I'm telling you this stuff. And then, another main point as far as like why you keep getting friend zoned, playback situations. Do you have a woman in your life that you like now that she puts you in that zone, right? Or think back to when you were younger or a teenager. Like, was this showing up a lot, you know? And it can be something to laugh about now. It's like, oh, maybe you've moved on from that. Or maybe it was a time in your life where you didn't feel good, like you felt rejected with having this girl in your life or this hot woman in your life, and she's like friend zoning you, and you know that you like her on a deeper level. So something to think about. Drop it in the comments if you ever experienced that and what was coming up for you during this time when you couldn't like speak up. And or have do you have any male friends in your life where you like saw it playing out and you like, dude, you gotta say something. This girl is like not seeing you as an option at all to date, like because you won't like speak up and say anything. you know? Or have you been like that and in your experience she friend zoned you and like, your friend ended up like getting bagging her, getting her because you wouldn't say anything. So things like that, something to think about and be aware of, but not ruminate on, right? Just to, you can laugh about it, like I said now, especially if you're not like that anymore. But also, the third point that I want to deeply make, as far as just like you getting out of the friend zone and flipping this way of being, this mindset of like how you acting with women, is like you can't wait on things. So you don't want to wait. So instead of waiting, show up to lead. And one way how you show up to lead is telling this woman, this girl, I like you, X, Y, and Z, whatever, and see what happens. Like, and if she doesn't, the next one will. It's fine. Maybe you two end up just staying friends, and it's fine. Or she sees that, oh wow, he's stepping it up a little bit, and you start to date other women and apply these things, and she's like, oh my God, like John's like hot, looking hot right now. He's like stepping it up, you know, going after what he wants, and seeing like starting to date all these chicks now. She might even be like attracted to that now. You're not really paying her any attention as far in that regard. Maybe you all are still like good friends. So something to be aware of. Don't wait, instead of lead. Women are not out here, waiting for you to wait. Like they want you to take action. Like that's hot, seeing that in a man, and having him say what he wants to you, it's hot, it's attractive. And if you feel like, it can go further, you end up, the compatibility is right, well, take it further, see what's up. But you gotta start here, getting yourself out of the friend zone hole, because if you don't, you'll stay there forever and you'll be unhappy, because it's something you don't want. And at the end of the day, like I always said, this comes back to your relationship with yourself. Do you not feel good enough to speak up, or what is it? So, and those are the type of things I go deep with working like one on one with men, so that you can get up to the root cause of it, pull it up, pull it out, and plant a new seed within you, you know, sooner than later. So, something to think about. Like, did your mom not tell you you were good enough? Were you just turned down by a lot of girls in like high school, or, whatever, that you got to college and decided to like keep up this nice guy persona and let girls friend zone you left and right? What was it? And you don't have to like fully understand it. I'm not a therapist and keep like talking about it. We just want to get to the root cause, pull it up, so that you can be different and step into a new identity. Like, yo, I speak up now. I'm ready to step into my leader energy and take this woman out and show her a good time, and, tell her that I'm attracted to her, So I don't have much more to say. Thank you, in God's hands. 1111, welcome. Thank you for the compliment. But if you have anything to say in the comments about this, drop it below. And like I said, you can go back to those moments when that happened, and think about, right, making sure that doesn't happen now, how you could course correct it, And if you have someone out there that you want, them to listen to this, maybe send it to them, like, yo, I found this woman's channel, I think it could help, especially if my men out there who are older, who are like leading young men, or there's a young man in your life that is experiencing this and not feeling good about it, you can send him this talk to listen to, right? And see what he says, right? Get some feedback from him, or ask him, did he watch it? And if he didn't, don't force it on him. It's fine. Depending on how old he is and where he is in his maturity. He might not be ready to hear this from me, but maybe it can guide you to talk to him about it if he's coming to you and telling you some things that he's struggling with, or with girls or women or something. So this conversation can be applied in so many different ways, as far as like male energy is concerned and men are concerned. But other than that, I know I was out of integrity, so I take responsibility. I didn't go live yesterday, and going out, having a life, and I should have went live from where I was, because I could have. So I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen again. And you'll see me live here tomorrow. I don't know what time. So hopefully, if you're subscribing, it will pop up in your email and you'll see. If you're not, then subscribe to the channel so that and hit the bell notification so that you'll know every time that I go live, and it won't matter the time. You'll jump in if you happen to be on. And if not, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for listening and being here and being in the conversation. Ciao.